The City Nature Challenge in iNaturalist is certainly a lot of fun, but some of you may be asking, what's the use of it beyond that? How can it help to, say, aid conservation or improve scientific understanding? Well, for one thing, collecting all of these observations is a very useful way of understanding the distribution of certain species, and that, in turn, can help us to determine how to manage or conserve them. But you don't have to take my word for it. I'll just let a scientist explain.
I'm Tim Bonebrake. I'm an associate professor in the School of Biological Sciences at the University of Hong Kong. So the City Nature Challenge and iNaturalist data in general provide a lot of data for a lot of different applied conservation questions, including climate change, urban ecology, and general questions in conservation. So if we know where species are, even if they're in cities, we can look at the biodiversity of cities. We can also see if there are new species that are arriving in cities. And so these are all valuable data sources for conservation biologists. One that I'm very familiar with is looking at new species as a consequence of climate change. So if climate change is driving species into new places, iNaturalist is a good place to pick up and find those species that are moving. Urban centers and cities are an incredible source of biodiversity. There's actually a lot of biodiversity in cities. There's a high heterogeneity in habitat, a lot of diversity of habitats in cities, and that often leads to a high diversity of species as well.
And why do you feel that citizen science programs like the City Nature Challenge are important?
Yeah, aside from the data collection, which is really important for scientists, probably the most important outcome of things like iNaturalist and City Nature Challenge is just a general engagement with the public and people, and interaction with scientists and interactions with other people who are interested in nature and species. And so having that engagement and working for the common goal of trying to count species or figure out how many, what the diversity of life in a city is, that's a good, really important thing for conservation.